Hi guys, so good evening and welcome back to my magical world. It's me, Frostbite, your favorite celebrity here in the Philippines. Yan. It's 22:37 in the evening right now, and today is August 12th, 2025. Yan. It's Tuesday. Tuesday. Miss kita pag Tuesday. So let's start. I'm gonna read 268 and 269 of the book Mastery for you guys, syempre. And by the way, thanks for today's food session and food galore. Yeah, so of course we are um, taking care of everything right now. Of ourselves, syempre. And so on the other hand, there is the opposing tendency of the brain to want to make connections between everything. This generally occurs among individuals who pursue knowledge far enough that these associations come to life. Although this tendency is easier to spot in masters, we can see in history certain movements and philosophies in which these return to reality becomes widespread in a culture part of the Zeitgeist. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Zeitgeist. I don't know. For instance, in the ancient world, where there is Taoism in the East and Stoicism in the West, both movements that endured for centuries. In Taoism, there is the concept of the way, and the Stoicism that as of Logos, the ordering principle of the universe that connects all living things. As Marcus Aurelius expresses it, keep reminding yourself of the way things are connected, of their relatedness. All things are implicated in one another and in sympathy with each wait lang. Sympathy with each other, this event is the consequence of some other one. Things push and pull on each other and breathe together and are one. Perhaps the greatest example of this was the Renaissance, a cultural movement for which the ideal was the universal man, a person who has managed to connect all branches of knowledge and approximate the intellectual reach of the creator. Perhaps today we are witnessing the early signs of a return to reality, a renaissance in modern form. In the sciences, the first seeds of this began with Faraday, Maxwell, and Einstein, who focused on the relationships between phenomena, fields of force, instead of individual particles. In the larger sense, many scientists are now actively seeking to connect their various specializations to others. For instance, how neuroscience intersects to many other disciplines. We see signs of this also in the growing interest in theories of complexity applied to such disparate fields as economics, biology, and computers. We see it in the broadening of our thinking of ecosystems as a way of truly conceptualize the dynamic interactions in nature. We can see it in health and medicine. And in the same approach, many are taking to consider the body as a whole. This trend is the future because the purpose of consciousness itself has always been to connect us to reality. As individuals, we can participate in this trend simply by pursuing mastery. In our apprenticeships, we naturally begin by learning the parts and making various distinctions, the right and wrong way to proceed the individual skills to master and their particular techniques, the various rules and conventions that govern the group. In the creative active, we begin to melt these distinctions as we experiment with shape and alter these conventions to suit our purposes. And in mastery, we come full circle, returning a sense of the whole. We intuit and see the connections. We embrace the natural complexity of life, making the brain expand to the dimensions of the reality instead of shrinking it to the narrowest of specializations. Okay? This is the inevitable outcome of deep immersion in a field. So, usually, ganun guys, no? So, ano ba? May mga taong like, they are so smart, but they don't actually know how to execute it. They don't know how to focus on one thing. And, yan. Uh, ang ending, wala silang tapos. So, sometimes, most of the time, there are people like that. They just don't know how to utilize their, intelligence wisely. Kasi they've been putting their energy into many different things. Which is sometimes, okay yun. But, I don't know. I can't tell kasi ako I'm a multitasker and I've been finishing many things all at once. So maybe I'm an exception. So I'm actually finishing many things. So I actually love what I do. So I don't know. Some people, they just stay on their safe zone or comfort zone. I am not like that. So definitely not like that type. So yeah. Ako lang to, guys. Bahala kayo sa buhay niyo. It's your life. I just support you and whatever. Okay? So, we can define intelligence as moving toward thinking that is more contextual, more sensitive to the relationships between things. Think of this think of it this way. The ultimate distinction you make is between yourself and the world. There is the inside, and there is the outside. But every time you learn something, your brain is altered as new connections are formed. Your experience of something that occurs in the world physically alters your brain. The boundaries between you and the world are much more fluid than you might imagine. When you move toward mastery, your brain becomes radically altered by the years of practice and active experimentation. It is no longer the simple ecosystem of the years gone by. The brain of a master is so richly interconnected that it comes to resemble the physical world and becomes a vibrant ecosystem in which all forms of thinking associate and connect. This growing similarity between the brain and complex life itself represents the ultimate return to reality. So, by the way, guys, I'll just a little advice. If you're burnout, you've been doing, you've been putting your a lot of your energy, your time, and effort onto something, and it's not fucking working, right? So, and you're feeling burnout, you really have to rest. Okay, so I don't know how to tell you how to rest because some people don't know how to rest, how to enjoy rest. They really don't know how to do it. So, again, they'll para ma-digest nyo what I'm saying is that all of our end goal, the end of this life is death. Okay, so make sure you are taking your time to rest kasi guys, diba, you only have one life. Di ka naman pusa, di ka rin naman alien kagaya ko. So, okay, listen to your body kasi eventually if you overdo your work which is not paying you well, so you're gonna kill yourself. I don't like that. I don't like that for you guys. Okay, so don't overdo things. Okay, sometimes if it's worth the do, sige. If it's worth all your if it's really worth it, sige lang, go. But if it's not that worth it, don't. Yung tama lang, in moderation. Do it in a moderate way. Next topic, strategies for attaining mastery. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift and rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. That was from Albert Einstein. Mastery is not a function of genius or talent. It is a function of time and intense focus applied to a particular field of knowledge. But there is another element, an X factor that masters inevitably possess that seems mystical, but that is but that is accessible to us all. Whatever field of activity we are involved in, there's generally an accepted path to the top. It is the path that others have followed, and because we are conformist creatures, most of us opt for this conventional route. But masters have a strong inner guiding system and a high level of self awareness. What has suited others in the past does not suit them, and they know that trying to fit into a conventional mold would only lead to dampening of spirit, and the reality they seek eluding them. And so, inevitably, these masters, as they progress on their career paths, make a choice at a key moment in their lives. They decide to forge their own route, one that others will see as unconventional, but that suits their own spirit and rhythms, and leads them closer to discovering the hidden truths of their objects of study. This key choice takes self confidence and self awareness. Okay? The X factor that is necessary for attaining mastery. The following are examples of these X factor in action and the strategic choices it leads to. The examples given are meant to show the importance of this quality and how we might adapt it to our own circumstances. So there's prior subtopics about it. I'm gonna discuss it to you bukas. Bukas naman. Kasi syempre, ah, may bukas pa. Di ba? Huwag nyo naman ubusin lahat ng gagawin yung araw. Baka di na tayo magising. Baka di na tayo magising, guys. Okay? So, kailangan may gawin pa tayo bukas. Okay? So, thank you guys for listening, and thank you for helping me make this world a better place for all of us and for the future generation. Every day is a productive day. I'm loving the Mercury retrograde and all of the retrograde blah blah planets. I'm finishing all my unfinished business slowly but surely. I'm also doing deep clean in my every day. So, kind of loving it. Okay? Take care.